The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution is one of the most hotly debated topics in modern America. Some argue that it's an outdated relic of a bygone era, irrelevant in a world with modern militaries and police forces. They claim it's dangerous, fueling violence and hindering gun control. On the other side of the aisle stand those who see the Second Amendment as a cornerstone of American freedom, as relevant today as it was in 1791. They argue that a well-armed citizenry is vital to deter tyranny and protect individual liberty. Here, we will delve into the historical context and original intent of the Second Amendment. We will explore the Founding Fathers' vision and understand why they considered the right to bear arms fundamental to a free society. This is not about engaging in contemporary political debates. It's about understanding the very foundation upon which our nation was built. By examining the historical record and the words of the Founding Fathers themselves, we can gain a clearer understanding of this controversial amendment. We can cut through the noise and rhetoric and appreciate the Second Amendment for what it truly is, a vital safeguard of American liberty. The final barrier to tyranny. This is the story of the Second Amendment, a right forged in the fires of revolution and enshrined as a cornerstone of American freedom. To truly understand the Second Amendment, we must journey back to its origins, to a time when the ink of the Declaration of Independence was barely dry. The year was 1776. American colonists, weary of British oppression and tyranny, took up arms in a fight for their freedom. This was not a conflict waged by a standing army, but by ordinary citizens, farmers, shopkeepers, and teachers who became citizen soldiers. They formed militias, armed groups composed of private citizens, and took on the greatest military power of their age, and won. The Revolutionary War was a testament to the courage and conviction of these armed citizens, fighting for their right to self-determination. This experience left an indelible mark on the Founding Fathers. They had witnessed firsthand the dangers of a tyrannical government with a powerful standing army. They knew that the ability of the people to arm themselves was not just about personal safety, but about the very survival of their newfound republic. Thus, when they drafted the Bill of Rights, they included the Second Amendment, a clear and unambiguous statement, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. This was not a right granted by the government, but a pre-existing right, inherent to the people, acknowledged and protected by the Constitution. The intentions of the Founding Fathers regarding the Second Amendment are not shrouded in mystery. They are clearly articulated in numerous historical documents, particularly in the Federalist Papers. These 85 essays, written by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay, were intended to persuade the citizens of New York to ratify the newly drafted Constitution. In Federalist No. 26, Alexander Hamilton addresses the concerns some had about a standing army, a force many viewed as a potential tool of oppression. Hamilton argues that a well-regulated militia, composed of armed citizens, serves as the ultimate counterbalance to the potential threat of a tyrannical government or a standing army. He writes, "If circumstances should at any time oblige the government to form an army of any magnitude, that army can never be formidable to the liberties of the people while there is a large body of citizens, little if at all inferior to them in discipline and the use of arms, who stand ready to defend their own rights and those of their fellow citizens." This shows the founders' opinion that the citizens had the right to own any weapon that the military could carry. How else could you resist tyranny if you were not equally equipped? James Madison, considered the father of the Constitution, echoes this sentiment in Federalist No. 46. He emphasizes the deterrent effect of an armed citizenry on any government contemplating tyranny. Madison states, "The advantage of being armed, which the Americans possess over the people of almost every other nation, forms a barrier against the enterprises of ambition." These writings make it abundantly clear that the Founding Fathers saw the Second Amendment as a vital safeguard against tyranny, ensuring that the ultimate power resided not with the government, but with the people. Section 4. Citizen Soldiers. The vital role of militias. The Second Amendment explicitly mentions the importance of a well-regulated militia for the security of a free state. To grasp the full significance of this phrase, we must understand the context of militias in early America. Militias were not merely ad hoc groups of armed individuals. They were an integral part of the social fabric, essential for both defense and the preservation of liberty. A militia, as envisioned by the Founding Fathers, consisted of all well-armed, able-bodied citizens within a community, trained and ready to defend their homes, families, and freedoms. These citizen soldiers were expected to provide for their own arms and equipment, ensuring that the means of defense remained in the hands of the people, not the government. The reliance on militias was not simply a matter of practicality or economics. It was a deliberate choice rooted in a deep distrust of standing armies and tyrannical governments. The Founding Fathers had witnessed how standing armies could be used as tools of oppression by tyrannical governments. They believed that a militia, composed of citizens with a vested interest in protecting their communities and liberties, was far less likely to be used for nefarious purposes. The militia was seen as a safeguard against both external threats and internal tyranny, ensuring that the power of the sword ultimately rested with the people. Section 5. The Shield Against Tyranny, Safeguarding Liberty Through Armament. The Second Amendment is often discussed in the context of self-defense and hunting, but its deeper significance lies in its role as a bulwark against tyranny. The Founding Fathers, students of history and veterans of revolution, understood that power corrupts and that even the most well-intentioned governments could become tyrannical. They had witnessed the abuses of power by the British monarchy and were determined to create a system of government where power was divided and the people retained the ultimate authority. The Second Amendment was a crucial component of this system, a safeguard designed to ensure that the government always remained accountable to the governed. The right to bear arms, in the eyes of the Founding Fathers, was not merely about personal protection. It was about the collective ability of the people to resist oppression. A well-armed citizenry, they believed, served as a deterrent to tyranny, a constant reminder to those in power that their authority ultimately derived from the consent of the governed. The Second Amendment was not intended for a hypothetical future scenario. It was a pragmatic response to the very real threat of tyranny that had plagued mankind for centuries. It was a recognition that the best defense against a tyrannical government is a well-armed and vigilant citizenry capable of defending its liberties. Section 6. The Right to Defend. Protecting ourselves and our communities. While the Second Amendment stands as a bulwark against tyranny, it also serves a more immediate and personal purpose: the right to self-defense. The Founding Fathers recognized that individuals have a fundamental right to protect themselves, their families, and their property from harm. They understood that in a world without ubiquitous law enforcement, citizens bore a greater responsibility for their own safety and security. The right to bear arms was seen as an extension of the natural right to self-preservation, allowing individuals to defend themselves against criminals and aggressors. This right was not limited to personal self-defense. It also encompassed the defense of one's community. In an era where law enforcement was often sparse and response times could be lengthy, communities relied on each other for protection. The Second Amendment ensured that citizens had the means to band together, forming posses or militias to apprehend criminals, quell unrest, and protect their communities from threats both internal and external. This concept of collective self-defense, enshrined in the Second Amendment, fostered a spirit of self-reliance and community responsibility. It empowered citizens to take an active role in ensuring their own safety and security, rather than relying solely on the government. Section 7. A Legacy of Freedom, the Enduring Significance of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment stands as a testament to the enduring wisdom of the Founding Fathers and their unwavering belief in the importance of individual liberty. It is a right that has been tested throughout American history, debated, challenged, and ultimately reaffirmed as a cornerstone of our freedoms. This amendment is not a relic of the past, but a living document, as relevant today as it was in 1791. It serves as a constant reminder that the ultimate power in a free society resides not with the government, but with the people. It is a safeguard against tyranny, a guarantor of individual liberty, and a testament to the enduring spirit of self-reliance that defines the American character. The Second Amendment is not a guarantee of absolute freedom from harm or a license for reckless behavior. It is a profound responsibility, a call for citizens to be vigilant in safeguarding their liberties and to exercise their rights responsibly. It is a reminder that freedom is not free. It requires constant vigilance and a willingness to defend it. As we move forward as a nation, facing new challenges and evolving threats, the Second Amendment remains a beacon, reminding us of the principles upon which our nation was founded: individual liberty, limited government, and the right of the people to determine their own destiny. It is a legacy of freedom, passed down from generation to generation, a testament to the enduring belief that the power to secure liberty ultimately rests in the hands of a free and well-armed citizenry.